Hey howdy, it's me, Manic Mark, coming to you from the bunker system located underneath the art villa found somewhere in the jungles of the Midwest. Today I'm coming to you with a pretty good sized stack of records. For a change, I went to half price, full price, super high price books, and nobody had been in there all day because the records hadn't been messed up yet, so I messed them up. Pulled a few out, and they had a fun one up in the high price, super high price bin. They had another fun one that was like way too much money, but I'll keep an eye on it. It'll be up there forever. Some of the high-priced records have been there for months and months and months and months and months and months. Anyway, so let's see what's going on. What do you want to talk about? Yoga? During the last video, a number of people mentioned doing their own exercises, and I think that's pretty cool. I think the key to life, to having a successful mental attitude towards life, is exercise. I probably never would have said that. I've always said that running kept me alive. If I didn't jog throughout my whole life, I've been running or jogging since I was in high school, except for the 4 years I spent drinking beer in college. But that's a long time. And at 60, my knees are starting to like a little bit tweaky, depending on how much I do. I still go out. The hips, of course, the bone spurs, but I just ignore that. Anyway, but we were talking about that last week, but I'm just going to show the two, if I can find them, I'm going to put two photographs up of the yoga poses that I've recently been able to do. Here's one. I call this the pose where you try to crunch your lower and upper intestines up into your chest cavity to strangle your heart and lungs. I do a pretty good job of that. I get all the way down, I flip over and I grab my feet, and I never thought I'd be able to do that because it literally, if you do a little bit of any weight is pushed at all, it's too much, and you're just like, can I breathe? Can I make it through? You just try not to look like your face turned red. And so I was doing, what was I doing? I was doing a down dog on my elbows, and I got up and I noticed there was all this skin on my mat because I had sunburned my head. I was on the roof. I'll put a picture up on the roof too. There's a picture. There's a chimney right there, and I took the chimney down. There's a picture of it coming halfway down. Those tiles are the liners. There were 3 of them I had to take out. They're about 2 feet long, and I think they probably weighed about 85 pounds a piece. And I monkeyed them down the ladder. I felt pretty good about doing all that. I got the whole thing done, but I did get burned. The chimney's not used anymore because of the geothermal. And it's leaking into the plaster somehow. I built it up. I signed the chimney. I put a cement cap on. I made myself, and I signed it in 1991. So I built the chimney, rebuilt it in 1991, and I tore it down this year. It's an interesting cycle of life. Chimney building and tearing down chimneys. No, it's not. Anyway, so here's another yoga pose. I was able to do this pose today, briefly, on each side, the right and left hand side. I don't know. I don't have a photograph in front of me, but I assume the photograph I put up is the person looks pretty slick doing the thing. I didn't look that slick. And it was only momentary, like one side was almost probably a second or two, and the other side, well, it probably wasn't even a second. But I got off the ground, was all twisted up pretty good, and it was doing pretty good. I never thought I'd be able to do that either. So that was exciting. Now, on to the main story. The main story is, are you ever like grocery shopping, okay? And you have the conveyor belt. You're in line to check out the conveyor belt. And they never have enough of those little divider things. Usually it's like, oh, and then you got to wait for this is the thing, I wait for the person that makes some space, the person's groceries, so there's no problems distinguishing one from the other. But it was just basically open. I got in there, and I had a lot of groceries, so I filled up the whole thing, but this much at the end when it moved up. Getting close up, about this much, while she was working on the lady in front of me, the checkout lady working on the lady in front of me. So this much, I had a little divider, And this old, older woman, it pushes in a cart, and she doesn't have that much stuff, right? So if you think that I've taken up almost a whole thing with a little bit of room at the end, that while the checkout girl's checking me out, there's going to be plenty of time for this woman to put her 7 or 8, 12 things on the conveyor belt without having to get all weird, you know. So no, she's kind of close to me anyway with the cart, you know, like. And then she puts shit on the conveyor belt, and I hear her crunch my potato chips. She's like pushing my shit, you know. And then she's standing there holding the cake or something so it won't fall off. Like, she doesn't have any time. There's no sense of... So the whole way through, then she puts her stuff up, and I thought, this is going to be interesting, because when she gets to the end, I can see her kind of like pushing up her cart, and I've got my cart where I can put the groceries in it, because that's the kind of thing it is. They spin the little thing, and you put the groceries in your own cart. I actually like doing it that way. Kind of pushing. I said, I thought, oh man, she's just going to push me, and I'm not going to be able to get my little credit card thing signed, you know. And so I whip my card out. She's starting to push up, and I kind of stand back. So her credit card, she pulls the card. What is wrong with you? Just relax, old crazy lady. Anyway, was there anything else? So I thought, well, I'll just go past the little, there's usually like a fish for sale. And I found out that the Myers fish is pretty good. Even the fish that's on sale, I had no problems with it. So the first time I bought it, it was swordfish from Indonesia. Like, geez, how long did it take to get here? How long was it frozen? Was it thawed out? How long has it been sitting here? Was it farm raised? It came from the ocean. There was a lot of questions about it, but I bought it and it tasted pretty good. And so the next couple of times there were farm-raised catfish, U.S. farm-raised catfish, just fillets, I guess that's what you call them. They were really good. That was really good. And then they didn't have it, and then they had like catfish steaks. Well, don't buy that. It's stick things, and they like take a whole big catfish and they chop it. Instead of filleting it, they chop it like a tree, like a log laying on the ground. Chop it, and it's, you got to pick at it. It's full of bones. Oh my God, I didn't understand why anybody would torture themselves with that. I just didn't know. So this time I went around and like, oh well, the fish will be there. I kind of saw some for sale fish, and I went around and there's the guy holding the fillets. Some guy right in front of me holding my fillets in his hands. Oh, I should have just rushed in and distracted him and grabbed it somehow. Oh look, a comet, you know. So then I thought, catfish, and I noticed there were like fins on it still. And I go, oh, I don't know if I want catfish with fins, but it was the only piece left that was on sale, so I bought it. So I just fixed it, right? So first, like this is, it's been so long since I've been fishing. I caught a fish and fixed fish. I'm embarrassed to say it. I really have no idea. So I tried to like cut it in half or something, and that's not going to work. So I just throw it in a skillet and cook it about the same time on each side as I would if it was just flat, like fillets. And then I scraped it. It came right off, and there weren't hardly any bones. All the bones stayed in. It was pretty good. That worked out. So that would be. I probably wouldn't want to do that again, but I would maybe do that again. Not the steaks. I didn't understand that at all. Okay. So I talked about both the yoga poses. That's right. And anyway, okay. Let's go to the records. There's some fun ones in here today. It's budget on Winecoat, something called Folk Soul. What the hell is that, Folk Soul? It's going to be knockoff or studio. Oh, excuse me. You didn't hear that anyway, did you? That was the catfish coming up. Something else I ever did about like discounted some kind of stir fry that came with like some sort of teriyaki sauce, and I guess probably won't taste. It was really good too, and it tasted good with the fish. I'm not a cook, but I just think in my head like things are going to taste good together. Like sometimes I get those like they're half price. Usually they're about $4 or $5 a piece, but at half price. They're like vegetables, and then they've got like maybe rice or peas or something in it, and a sauce. And you put it in the microwave for 3 minutes, and those are really good too. But for some reason, I always want to have peanut butter and crackers with them. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but I like peanut butter and crackers with that. What the hell is it called? I don't remember. Some are better than others. Some flavors are better than others. It's the Steel Band Island Songs. That sounds pretty boring, but the name of the band on the album is Tyrone and the Clouds. Who are you playing with these days? I'm playing with Tyrone. That's right, Tyrone and the Clouds. I love Barbados. Lemon Tree. Of course Lemon Tree's on this album. Have to be, right? Probably should feature something from this album, but I know I won't because there's too many good things here to go upstairs and decide on which one will be the musical sample. But John Davidson, remember him? He was like a TV personality back in the 80s, maybe early 80s or 70s. I don't remember. But he does a cover of the Beatles' Obla Di Obla Da. I bet that'll be fun. Oh my God. He's got drums, bass, and a guitar. It's just, was it just going to be that? I'm trying to think what he did. I don't know what John Davidson did. I think he was just on the Merv Griffin show. But didn't he? That was just, that's all he did was talk shows. I'm not exactly. He must have a TV show or something. This looks interesting. I have no idea what to expect off of it, but it's on New World Records. So New World put out a lot of interesting things. I think it might be American Contemporary, but I really have no idea. There's a soprano, that's a good. There's a couple sopranos, that's a good sign. I don't know. Probably won't feature anything from that because usually the American Contemporary, it's too long and mostly boring for most people, but not for me. I do this for you, that's right. I try to pick something peppy that will keep you engaged at the end of the video. Lush Life, Nancy Wilson, been finding a lot of her albums lately, and here's another one. And I like her. She's a good kind of pop vocalist. And now, I found a few albums apparently from French Canada, Canadian French, Canadian. Of course, I have no idea. Suzanne Bouchard, orchestra direction. Don't even try. Just don't even try. I think it's 67. Released in 67. I have no idea. Here's another one I have no idea on Pathé out of Canada. It's B. K-Ud A. Olympiad. That's a theater. Yeah, so this is the guy that did something in the theater, probably singing, would be my guess. Or maybe he was a juggler or something like that. Probably not. (1967). There's a song on this called John Kennedy. So what do you think? Maybe folk singers? Well, I don't know. Johnny Long. Who's Johnny Long? It's Johnny Long. That's him with the little makeup case in the front, the dark suit by the bus door. Johnny Long, his makeup kit. Spaghetti and Meatballs. There's a girl vocalist on this. Daisy Bernier. Don't know. And surprisingly enough, I found a copy of Exotica Volume 2, Martin Denny's Exotica Volume 2. Now you're saying, Manic Mark, don't you have 3 or 4 copies of that? Yes, probably I do, but this was so clean. And the record looks mini fresh. I had to pick it up again. Second contribution, Sean Phillips. Who the hell? It's a gatefold. There he is. Look at that. They put the back of him on the front and the front of him on the back. That's so creative. And seems at 1970. Seems like I'm familiar with the name, but I just can't place it anywhere. Not that familiar with it, are you? No. Cloud 9, The Temptations. It's a little groovy cover. Little silver outfits on the back. They're kind of dressed up like spacemen. Temptations. There's another album I have, but I picked it up again because it was fairly clean. Nice clean copy. Just in case the copy I have isn't clean. I think it is. But it's a gatefold, and it's a good album. Terry Snyder. And here's a nice budget album, but the cover's really kind of sweet. Love Me With All Your Heart. And it's the Ray Charles singers. Ray Charles Raymond singers. The Charles Raymond singers. Now wait a minute. I thought he always called himself the Ray Charles singers. Like, but not that Ray Charles, but another guy named Ray Charles. And this is called the Charles Raymond singers. Like maybe they're not those. I don't know. Dionne Warwick, The Windows of the World. She's got a groovy dress on there. Produced by Burt Bacharach and Hal David. I think I recognize this cover, but I couldn't be certain. This is Somerset, The Sounds of 68, MacArthur Park. Strings for Young Lovers. Oh, this is a compilation of some of their stuff, some of their, I don't know. Ooh, Your Miniskirt, Little Joe Curtis. That could be good. All right. The order from eBay came in. The 4 records I picked up on eBay, and I always love it whenever something goes wrong with an order and the vendor finally gets back to you. It's always, well, the help I hired, they suck and they didn't do what they're supposed to do. Even they may have like 3 items on their for sale page, and yet they blame whatever screw up they had on their staff. It didn't matter that it took way over 2 weeks for it to show up. But this is a great cover. It's Herb Jeffries with Devil Woman. I don't remember seeing the vendor say this had tape on it, although maybe they did. I'll go back. So often, I almost hate buying records on eBay because almost always they're overgraded in some respect. And when I sell records on eBay, I try really hard to be conservative with my stuff. It's on Golden Tone, which is budget. But it was a great cover. It'll scan okay, I think. Speaking of great covers, it's Miss Conga and Mrs. Can Do. What is this? Cover drawing by George Morissette. Oh, so there are two. These are your 2 artists, Miss Congo and Miss Can Do. 2 masses. They're masses, religious masses apparently, of the Bass Congo. The kind customarily sung in the region of Kisantu, 100 miles south of Kinshasa, formerly Leopoldville, the nation's capital. Okay. And I picked this one up. It's budget. And Francis Bay had a band, and he made a bunch of low-end stuff for Omega. But Omega always had fun covers, and this cover features a architectural, like, I hate to say the building, but a big structure from the World's Fair in Belgium. Oh man, maybe if it's in Brussels, I'll be in trouble. Like 1957. I've only looked it up 1,000 times, but I don't remember any of it. Anyway, nice cover. Tropicals D's Peg Q. Fun cover. It looks like a chart of something, like you get the most of, it's not, it's just, I think it's just the name of the, it's just the name of the title tracks down here, not which track is more important than the other, although that's what it looks like. And last but not least, at half price, full price, super high price books for $6, which seemed fair to me. It's a cha-cha album on tops, Raul Martinez. It had a sticker on it. Fortunately, they used like a sticky note, like would come right off, and they put the price on it. But it said, this could be Mary Tyler Moore. And so I know exactly that's who it is, Mary Tyler Moore. So the guy at the register was like, young, kind of interesting. He says, oh, he could see the vinyl. He goes, I've never seen colored vinyl on anything this old. They didn't come in a punk sleeve or something, you know. I said, well, you know, it's not that uncommon to find color vinyl in this time period. And it seemed to me like I'd seen this photograph before in another album of Mary Tyler. Why do I want to keep calling her Mary Tyler Morley? I don't know. Anyway, Mary Tyler Moore is something. So, but I've never seen with the cutout, and I don't know if it was. I know there's a couple. She's on the front of a couple, but I probably don't. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I don't have this one, so that's fun. Now they also had a really nice copy without a cutout of a album with yellow vinyl in it, of a Steve Allen album with a really fun cheesecake cover, probably an actress on the front. But they wanted $25 for it. Don't they know how boring Steve Allen is? Oh my God. I had one or two of his records, and one had a kind of interesting cover, but even just a nice cheesecake, it doesn't, with yellow vinyl, is not $25. I'm just saying. This is what they do. They do this. They don't. The young kids pricing their records like, oh, yellow vinyl. You never find that. $25. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for stopping by, and you're going to talk about the humidity again. No, don't do it. Don't. Stop yourself. Okay, I'll stop myself. There is something else. I just don't remember what it is. It doesn't matter. You filled up plenty of time. Look at that. That's right. I'm cutting it out. I just cut it out because I wanted to go right to the end and right to the musical sample.
Pero a fuerza no será. amor de